Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the show today, let's talk a little bit about Tesla, especially their charging stations, which are popping up all over the planet. In fact, Tesla's got enough of an infrastructure here in the United States, if it hasn't already happened, it will be happening very soon, that they are going to have enough charging stations for you to drive your Tesla of choice from sea to shining sea, yes, from coast to coast, using just their charging stations. Albeit it's going to take you a fair amount of time. That being said, you can, if you use the Model S or the Model X, those vehicles can be charged free of charge, but that is not going to be happening in the future, especially if you're going to own one of these machines, the brand new Model 3. Apparently, Tesla is going to charge folks for using these charging stations. Now, they're talking about a package deal, or quite possibly if you pay right there at the pump, if you will. And they haven't released pricing on this deal as of yet, but if we hear about it, we're going to let you know. Next up on the list, the brand new heavily revised 2017 Nissan GTR has now got official pricing for the United States. Now, right off the bat, the GTR has a 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged V6, making 565 brake horsepower and 467 pounds-feet of torque. 0 to 60 comes in just under 3 seconds with a top speed of 196 miles an hour. Starting pricing on this machine is going to start off at $111,585 US dollars, with another $1,595 for the destination fee. This vehicle will be going on sale at a Nissan dealership near you coming up later this year, the year of 2016. Next up on the list, feast your eyes on the brand new Ferrari 458 Speciale. Now, I know right off the bat you're probably thinking, wait a minute, what does stand for? Well, guess what? I don't have a clue. Okay, well then, didn't they discontinue the 458 for the 488? Yes, they did. But this is a commission piece. This is done by the Ferrari design group, and it's done for one special owner who plunked down a hunk of change to actually own this particular machine that was debuted at the old Fiorano test track. It comes together with the best of the 488, the best of the 458 styling, but comes with the 458's 4.5-liter normally aspirated V8, making 496 brake horsepower and 398 pounds-feet of torque. 0 to 60 comes in just 3 seconds with a top speed of 202 miles an hour. I thought the most interesting thing about this story is when I saw this shot for the first time, the profile of this machine, I thought, whew, that is a good-looking Lotus Evora. Oh, wah wah. Not for sure if he's going to get the same, he or she, I should say, is going to get the same reaction at some fuel island when they're fueling this thing up or not, but if they do, oh boy, that would be terrible to be them. Next up on the list, BMW is in the news. They're showing off the brand new M3, showing off the first generation of the M3 in the background, because that foreground version is a special edition. It's the 30 years of M3 edition of the brand new M3. Have I said M3 enough? Yes, this particular version is going to be a limited edition machine. Now, it comes with the 3-liter turbocharged 6-cylinder, making 444 brake horsepower and 406 pounds-feet of torque. 0 to 60 comes in just 4 seconds flat for the 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, but balloons all the way up to 4.1 seconds if you own the 6-speed manual. Only 500 of these machines will be built for the world, and we've yet to hear pricing or availability as of yet, but when we hear those numbers, we'll let you know. And last up on the list, yes, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Top Gear. We got a couple of days gone past since the first episode of the new generation of Top Gear. There's a lot of squabbling on the old internets about the numbers that this thing laid down. Now, if you saw the review that I did on this show, I talked about that this show got 4.4 million viewers, and that's what the old BBC kind of came out with. Now, I've heard as low as 4.3, as high as closer to 4.5. Nobody seems to really have their numbers completely in check. That being said, too, everybody's pointing towards a 5.4 number that apparently the last go-round of Top Gear did, or the last generation. Now, here's the trick in my mind. I'm treating this as a brand new show, so it's nothing like the old show, even though it sure seemed like when you were watching it. That being said, this show getting a 4.4 I thought was pretty dang good, because I think a lot of folks are not going to try to watch it just for the sheer spite of things. They want to be at the water cooler at the next day going, oh yeah, I didn't watch it. You know, that's just one of those things. You're not going to be able to fix that deal. Maybe by the end of this particular season, could be. Now, that being said as well, it took the first generation, or I should say the last generation, even though this current generation is probably the third or fourth edition of Top Gear. The Clarkson May Hammondary, it took them 7 seasons to get these kind of numbers. That if you really want to go off of Wikipedia's numbers. Now, the trick of this deal is, with all these numbers crashing all over the place, Chris Evans is getting in the middle of this deal, and for a reason I can't understand. He's hitting the old internet screaming and yelling that the show got 4.4 million views in the early goings of that hour-long show, but got closer to 4.7 at the end of those hour-long show. Also, he wants to include the streaming option, because apparently this show was being streamed live over the old internets during the first go-round for the BBC runnings of it. And they're claiming that it got another 1.2 million views there. Again, this is a new medium. Don't know if they were streaming this show at the last go-round, so if you want to include them, and not to mention the whole ratings deal as a whole is kind of a scam and a joke, or at least it is here in the United States, so I don't know what exactly to make any real sense of it. The sheer fact that Chris Evans is screaming about this on the internet, Chris, if you watch this show, and why you're watching it I'll never know, but if you're watching this, stop yelling about this on the internet, because all you're doing is riling people up. And these folks don't care about the truth. There's no room for the truth on the internet. They just want to yell and scream about this deal. So you might as well just keep your trap shut and just stay back in the shadows. Let this thing play out. That being said, too, there's a wagering group that's going to let you lay down some money on the old fact that quite possibly, and they're claiming that there's a 25% chance that Chris Evans will be fired at the end of this season. Of course, saying that is also with another little bet they have on their site, that they say that there's a 50-50 shot that Top Gear will be canceled by the BBC after year's end. Yeah, I can pretty much guarantee, and I'm really restraining myself from using swear words, there is no way, absolutely no way, that the BBC will cancel this show. This is a money cash cow, and they will keep tweaking it until it gets back to making the money that they think it should. So, oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that Chris Evans actually told the BBC that he was going to get better ratings than the last go-round of it. Probably wasn't the world's greatest thing, and it got out in the internets. He claimed it was going to get over 5 million views. Again, still 4.4, I don't think that's too bad a deal, but, I mean, what do I know? I'm just a fat, bald guy on the internets. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.